Entering Sith training was somewhat similar to that of entering a private school for the elite. It relied on academic institutions for teaching prospective Sith, while the Rule of Two relied on a much more exclusive system for finding and recruiting new students. The Sith made sure their system was held in high regards, as a much greater standard was needed for choosing, since only 2 Sith would be around, compared to all of the Jedi in the galaxy. To enter the Sith Academy depended heavily on the rules of the head of the specific organization that the apprentice would enter. Under Darth Revan's empire, for example, prospective students needed to be sponsored by an academy or an academy's instructor, much like that of an athlete today would be sponsored by a company. Whereas while under Lord Khan, the requirement appeared to be force-sensitive and the rigorous training regimes were structured to weed out the candidates unable to surpass the course. Much like how in X-Men Professor Xavier would take in any person who had powers of some kind, whereas Magneto only took the most sinister and powerful mutants worthy of his side. It's easy to be a clean-cut hero slaying monsters. There's always a little bit of vanity in it. There can be no room for vanity or pride in being despised. This stretches much clarity on the fact that sacrifice was not necessarily the focal point for a Sith's training, but rather as a test of the applicant's true dedication, and thus prodded the adept to kill a loved one, sealing their fate to the darkness and proving their allegiance to their master. It usually happened near the beginning of their full training to ensure commitment, versus Darth Caedus performed his near the end, his sacrifice being his aunt, Mara Jade Skywalker. Darth Maul's test, however, was an anomaly. As he was taken by Sidious from a young age and trained under him with grueling tests, Maul's only attachment was to Sidious, who ultimately made him prove his loyalty by sacrificing his attachment to his master, demonstrating the desire to kill him, in which Maul proved his worth. It's very twisted, isn't it? In the case of Anakin Skywalker, he had to merely facilitate in the death of Mace Windu. When he cut off his hand, it was the test Sidious was waiting for, as he allowed himself to be electrocuted by Master Windu's blade reflection before unleashing his wrath. During the reign of Darth Revan, his normal class sizes would consist of 3 to 4 individuals who would learn from a single instructor. During Khan's reign, the number was increased to well over 20. Under this system, the training was highly competitive, with all the students vying for recognition. The most gifted students were often praised and glorified, while the weak ones were pushed out of training. In addition to the classroom instruction, students were expected to study and practice on their own. According to Darth Sidious, the purpose of Sith training was to force the apprentice to struggle for every scrap of knowledge she attained. Conversely, the master withheld as much as possible for as long as possible, the goal being to prolong his or her own life for as long as they could.